This time on the Families Matter Most podcast.
Lying it always feels like it's horrible. It always feels like we're ruining our kids. It feels like nothing we do is working. And to be fair, lying is a really tricky one because there's so many different motivations. Lying is tricksy. It is difficult, but it is not impossible. I'm here to walk you through it.
Every time Jen Dean speaks, I can see hope, knowledge, expertise, wisdom, and love.
When Jen Dean speaks about parenting, we make sure that we are there to listen because we know we will get valuable advice.
Families Matter Most with Jen Dean.
She doesn't just give skills for us to be better parents, but she teaches us how to reach our children's hearts. And at the end of the day, that's what truly matters.
In this episode of the podcast, we're going to tackle lying. I've heard from parents that have been like, Jen, is my kid a liar? Am I raising a liar? And does that mean that I've ruined my child and they're going to be in prison one day? They're going to rob and steal and lead a gang and it's all my fault because I've done something wrong because my child is lying. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. When your kid does something like that and you see this big character flaw, you start thinking, I've wrecked them. I've done something wrong as a parent and it's all my fault forevermore. And that is absolutely not true. I promise you we're going to do some work. We're going to tackle lying today. We're going to talk about what it looks like, what it is and what it isn't, where it can come from, and some solutions. So stay with me till the end, because no matter what's going on at your house, you're going to have some strategies and tools to deal with it, whether you're struggling with it right now or you file it away for that day in the future when it happens, not if it happens, when it happens. I am your coach. I help you take care of you and take care of your kids. I want to help you not just take care of them, make sure that they're fed and watered and, their behavior is good and they're doing well in school and they're helping out around the house and they're being kind to their brother and sister. I actually want to do more than that. I want to help you reach the hearts of your kids, which is exceedingly more difficult, but so worth it. If you can reach their hearts and encourage them to do the right thing, even when you're not around, even when you're not looking, then that is a beautiful thing. That is what we aim for. That is what I teach. I'm so glad you're here for the ride. I want to do a special shout out to say thank you to Connexus. Connexus Credit Union sponsors Families Matter Most, this podcast, and I am so grateful. Parents, we've got enough. We've got enough in our heads. Do you ever get sick of trying to keep it all organized? All of the appointments and the schedules and the calendars and the errands and the pick up the birthday gifts for this person and the special lunch at school and the forms that need signing, and it just gets overwhelming. Can I just say, Connexus Credit Union, just go to them and talk to them. They're going to help you take some things off your plate, take some things out of your head where you can just say, this is what I want to do. They're going to help you get it done. Connexus, connexus.ca. Google them. Tell them Families Matter Most sent you. We have got enough, okay? We don't have to be the expert in everything. Please, let's leave something to Connexus. They can take that on. Thank you so much, Connexus, for sponsoring and supporting families. Lying. This is what I define lying as: the intent to deceive. So this is where we can differentiate between birthday parties and, it's a surprise, so don't tell mom because we got her this gift, or, we're doing this fun thing for your brother, but don't tell him, because we struggle with that. We say, well, am I telling my child to lie? And here's the difference. No, you're not, because lying has behind it an intent to deceive that's ill, like an ill intent, an evil intent. And that's not what you're doing. If you're planning a fun surprise for someone, if there's a birthday gift you don't want them to find out about, or a surprise party, you can tell your kids, this is a surprise, not a lie. It's different. So we don't want to tell them because it's going to be a great thing for them. So lying is an ill intent to deceive. So how does that compare with storytelling? I get lots of emails and DMs from moms and dads that are saying, my kid is making up stories about things that happened that absolutely did not happen. Like at school, a dinosaur came and they went for a ride, or they found $100 and went shopping. They'll come up with crazy things and they're saying that it's the truth. And usually for kids, this is like a preschool, usually a preschool type thing. It's common. And we call this storytelling. This is storytelling. There's no ill intent to deceive. They are telling a story that is fun and exciting, adventurous, creative. Really, this is probably what they wish happened that day. They wish they could go, for a ride with a dinosaur, but instead they had to sit there and practice their letters, and that was no fun at all. So they'd much rather have this fun adventure. We call that storytelling. That is separate from lying. So I like to encourage parents to say, no, you know what? We're going to deal with it. We're going to teach our kids the difference between the truth and storytelling, but we're still going to let them have some fun because this is their imagination. This is creativity, and that is a wonderful thing. So with young kids, you can play some games with that. I often encourage families, while you're driving, you could take turns coming up with fun stories. So mom, as you're driving the kids to preschool, you might say, oh, look, I thought I saw a rainbow over there. And I wonder at the end of the rainbow, is a pot of gold perhaps, or something fun, or you could make up something. I'm going to take you to school and then I'm going to go flying around the world fighting superheroes, and then I'll be back to pick you up later. And then just end it with, that's a fun story. Make sure that it's very clear that your kids know this is a story, and that's fine. Let them have a turn. They can tell a story. They're going to go to school, and instead of reading books, they're going to, who knows? They're going to, ride unicorns and fly everywhere and, play with friends all day long, or whatever it is. Let them come up with whatever they want and just reiterate that that's fun. It's fun to make up stories. That's what we wish could happen today. Wouldn't that be exciting if we got to do that? Wouldn't it be exciting if we got to go, play at McDonald's Play Place for days and days? Wouldn't that be fun if we could go for a trip, somewhere wonderful and warm? Whatever it is, just really reiterate the fact that this is a story, this is fun, this is imagination. Maybe this would be exciting if it really did happen, just to help to clarify the difference, because we want our kids to understand when something is fun and story versus truth. Now, if they come home and they say, no, Mom, I really did go flying around the world with a unicorn today, you're going to want to say something like, that sounds really fun. That sounds like a really fun story, but it's not the truth. And just keep saying that. Your child might be like, no, I did. And you can say, yeah, it's fun to imagine. It's fun to imagine that. It would be really great if that did happen, wouldn't it? Let's make a picture about it. Let's pretend as if it did. But that's not the truth. Just start to use those kinds of words, and don't worry about it too much. If it takes them a little while to get it, just keep using the words. And we don't really need to discipline for this. This is just kids learning and growing in creativity and imagination. We just want to start teaching the difference. Around the table at supper, everyone could go around coming up with a wild, creative, imaginative idea of something that happened that day. And it could be a fun game. Who can come up with the craziest thing that happened to them today? Just make sure it's obvious to everyone at the table that it's not true. That's fun. That would be really fun, but it's not the truth. That's going to serve you later, because one day it's not going to be just creative and imagination. One day it is going to be a lie. You'll ask your child what happened to their backpack, and they'll come up with something that it wasn't their fault, that somebody took it, and then you'll find out, as a matter of fact, no, it was their fault. Nobody took their backpack, and they lied. And you'll recognize, oh, this is that ill intent. This is the intent to deceive here. They lied on purpose, not because of imagination. They did it for their own reasons. They were attempting to deceive you. This is when it's officially a lie. And you can teach your kids this. You can teach them that this is now a lie. This isn't storytelling anymore. This is a lie. And I like to encourage families that lying carries the very worst discipline, consequence, punishment in your house. This is a big deal. Lying needs to be a really big deal, because when I'm working with families that are struggling with lying, it's hard to even know. It's hard to know, what do I even discipline for? What is the truth and what is a lie? And maybe they lied 3 times and got caught on the 4th, or maybe they're telling the truth, but I'm believing it's a lie. So then I'm disciplining them and I shouldn't, and it's not fair. And we just second guess ourselves and we start going in circles. So if I could give you some friendly advice, I would say lying needs to be the very worst thing in your home. Whatever that is, whatever your discipline thing is, it needs to be the worst for lying. Now, of course, you know that I do not mean harsh. I do not mean extreme. Please know that. I do not mean any of those things. But whatever it is, if you tend to do, like, you take away screens, for example. If you take away screens, if that's kind of your thing, your go-to that you use as consequences in your home, it needs to be the worst for lying. So if you will take away screens for the rest of the day, then lying should be screens are gone for 2 days or 3 days. It needs to be the worst thing. So that's how we're going to handle a lie when it happens. But first, I want you to take a minute and think about, what is the motivation behind it? So if your child has been struggling with lying, why are they doing it? And this is why dealing with lying is tricky. This is why I recommend working with me. We can walk this out together. I can help you identify what's going on. I can give you specific strategies for you and the kids to sort this out well, because it gets really complicated really quickly. So here we go. Are you ready? What is the motivation? Why are they lying? Are they lying because you have an anger problem and you're yelling and it's maybe harsh? Let's be honest. I was a yeller. I yelled every day. I get it. If you are struggling with anger and you have a short fuse and you're a yeller, then they might be lying just to avoid that. They just don't want to get yelled at. They just don't want to make you mad. So they're lying just to try and keep the peace. They're just saying whatever it is they're going to say to try and make you happy. So for them, interestingly, their motivation isn't necessarily bad. They want to keep the peace because they don't want to be in conflict with you. They don't want to make you angry. They don't want you to yell. So in this case, we're going to work on, right, helping them to be truthful and honest and helping you to deal with anger. It could be that they want fun. They want to have more fun. They want fun things. They want to gain something. So if you've asked them if they've done the chore, they're going to say yes for the sole reason that they don't want to do the chore, because the chore is not fun. They want to have fun. They want to play Lego. They want to play their video games. They want to be outside with their friends. They don't want to do the chore you ask them to do. So they're going to lie and say it's done already for the sole reason that it's not fun. So is your child, are they constantly wanting fun? Are they seeking after, I don't want to do that because it's boring. I don't want to do that because it's no fun. I don't want to do anything that isn't fun. I only want fun. What are we doing tomorrow? Will it be fun? Who's going to be there? I don't know. If they're seeking after that, they could be lying just to get out of doing something that's not fun to them. If that's the case, we're going to work on developing character, right? We're going to work on developing responsibility and diligence with the kids. And this is all fixable, guys. Another motivation could legitimately be they just don't want to upset you. Maybe you don't have an anger problem. Maybe you're not a yeller like I used to be, but perhaps you just take it really hard. Maybe it really is hurtful to you. You become very sad. It hurts your feelings if your kids don't do what you've asked. So you ask someone if they've brushed their teeth and they haven't, but they don't want to tell you that because then you're going to be upset and they don't want you to be upset. So they're going to just lie and say, yes, they did. It seems like the path of least resistance to them. They just want to make you happy. Could it be that? See, the motivations here aren't all terrible. We just need to know what we're working with. Is that what's going on? If so, then we're going to help you deal with those emotions, not take things personally, right? We're going to help you maybe take your thoughts captive and not get into that spiral of feeling like you're failing your kids and you're not doing it right. We're going to help the kids develop character. This is fixable. You see why sitting down, taking a minute, thinking it through, try to slow down the process. What really happened? You asked your child if they had brushed their teeth. Was there a pause? Could you see the wheels turning? Could you see them deciding what they were going to say? Or was it just like the quickest, easiest decision and it just kind of flew out of their mouth? This lie. Sometimes, truthfully, it's just a habit. There could have been a time when maybe there was one of these motivations, but lying can legitimately just become a habit, a pattern. And I've worked with kids that are older that say, I don't even know why I lie. I don't even know why I say the things I do. They just fly out of my mouth. It's almost like it's just a habit that whatever just comes out of my mouth, whatever I think just pops out, and then it's out there, and then I just roll with it. It could just be a habit. And I'm going to give you strategies to work on this. Number 1, don't invite the lie. Don't invite the lie. If you know your child hasn't brushed their teeth, don't ask them because you're just inviting it, right? Don't ask them if they've brushed their teeth because you know the answer to that. You know the answer is no. So instead of going to them and saying, excuse me, did you brush your teeth, and waiting for them and deciding whether they're going to be truthful or not, just go to them first of all and say, you haven't brushed your teeth yet. Maybe there's a consequence for it, maybe not, but just matter of fact. If you know the answer, don't invite the lie. Don't ask your child if they've done their homework. If you know that they haven't, just don't do it. Don't invite the lie. If you know your child struggles with this, we're going to work on it, and let's not add more unnecessary opportunities for them to lie. We're going to encourage them to be truthful, so let's not invite more. When there is a lie, right? Because it will still happen. When there is a lie, there's 2 issues. If you go to your child and ask them if they've practiced their spelling words for school, and they say, yes, they have. And then you find out later, you look in their book and no, they actually haven't. Then I got to say, we have 2 issues here. We tend to treat this as one issue where we'll deal with either the spelling or the lie, but not both. But I want to say in this case, there's 2 issues. So whenever there's a lie, I want you to think about, okay, what happened? What was the lie about? In this case, it was spelling words. That's one issue. And the lie is the second issue. So you would break that down to your child and you'd say, okay, we have 2 problems here that we have to solve. One is you didn't do your spelling and you're supposed to. So now you need to do double spelling. You need to do it twice now. You need to practice doing the spelling, and that means you're going to do it twice. So it doesn't pay. You should just do the spelling first thing. You should just do it, get it done, so that you don't have to do it twice. There's that. We also have a lie. And lying is the very worst thing you can do. So now because of the lie, you now have 2 days with no screens. So it never pays to tell a lie. We should always be truthful. Do you see what I did there? I broke it up into 2 things. We want our kids to clearly hear from us that it does not pay. It doesn't pay to tell a lie. It is always, always better to be honest and truthful. Whatever happens, if there's an issue and there's a lie, break it down into 2 issues, have 2 separate consequences. We want our kids to understand that, man, if I had just told the truth, I would have only had this consequence, not the extra one for lying. Now, I'm assuming that you want your family values to be, kind and truthful, generous, caring. Do your kids know that? When's the last time you sat down and had a conversation with them? This is really helpful. Sit down with your kids. Have a family meeting. Pull out a whiteboard or a piece of construction paper or a notepad and say, hey, what is our family about? What is this family? What's important about this family? What makes us special? And have the kids throw things out. You guys can all throw out words, phrases, ideas, pictures, things that make you your family. Likely your kids are going to say things like, we're fun, we play together, we like to watch movies or play video games or go outside. That's all fine. Write it all down. Our family is kind, generous, fun, caring, and honest. Is our family honest? Are we honest? Do we tell the truth? Yes, we do. That is what our family is. Our family tells the truth. You're going to use this when you talk to the kids. If someone struggles and tells a lie, you're going to say, oh, wait a minute. No, that is not how our family is. We are truthful. We are honest. And this is a really helpful practical tip. If you have a child that you suspect is the habit. It's a habit of lying. It's now a pattern. Maybe they got away with it a bunch of times, or they just keep trying it. And now it seems like it's a part of them. It's a reoccurring issue in your family. Here's something that works. This works really, really well. You're going to go to them. You're going to say, before you ask them a question, you're going to say, son, I'm going to ask you a question. And remember, before you give me an answer, remember, it is always better to tell the truth. Our family is honest. So now I'm going to ask you the question. Have you done your spelling words today? Giving them just that pause of remember, we tell the truth. It is always better to tell the truth. This is who we are. This is our family, and we are honest. Then ask the question. I have seen so many families transform from doing this one thing, just slowing it down. So don't invite the lies when it's not necessary. But when it is, when you have to ask them a question, you're going to pause. You're going to give them a warning. Hey, I'm going to ask you a question. And remember, before you answer, take a breath. Our family always tells the truth. That's who we are. We are honest. We are kind. We are truthful. And then ask your question. You will notice an improvement. I would say probably 90% improvement, removing the habit and the pattern out of lying. And then that's going to let you know if there are lies still, likely they're going to be character lies. They're going to be lies of avoiding pain, avoiding doing the things they don't want to do, or trying to get more of the things they want. They might lie about, did you already have a snack? No, because they want more Skittles. That makes sense. I'm not saying it's okay, but it makes sense. It's not just a habit of throwing out whatever word pops into your mouth. That was a decision that your child made, that they were going to try and deceive you in order to have more fun things. And then we break that down into two. Okay, we have two issues. The two issues are you had double the snack and you lied about it. And we have two consequences. This works. It's a process, I know. If you ever watched those shows on TV and thought, man, those super nanny shows or Nanny 911, if you ever thought, gee, I wish I could have someone come into my house and do something like that with my family, that's exactly what I do. That is my jam. I love all of that. So I want to ask you something. If this sounds overwhelming to you, if you're like, man, I just want Jen. I just want Jen to help us through this. Book a free strategy call. Let's discuss this. Let's come up with, a couple of things to get you going, and then maybe consider booking something in. Maybe I come to your home. Maybe we meet virtually. Maybe I talk with the kids. Maybe it's just you and I. Maybe you're like, oh, I am that yeller. I do struggle with anger. Or I get wrapped up in my own thoughts and just take everything personally, and I'm always hurt and offended and upset. I can help you with that. So book the free strategy call. Let's figure this out. Lying it always feels like it's horrible. It always feels like we're ruining our kids. It feels like nothing we do is working. And to be fair, lying is a really tricky one because there's so many different motivations. It is difficult to conquer, but it is not impossible. I'm here to walk you through it. We've struggled with different kinds of anger raising the kids, but we have kids with integrity. Our family is honest. Our family tells the truth, and that has really served us well. So have that family meeting. I encourage you to spend that time figuring out what do you want your family to be about, and then writing that down on paper. If you're artsy, man, make one of those gorgeous chalkboards or print things off or make one of those wooden signs. That would be cool. But really talk about it with your family so that your kids, no matter what age, you could ask them, what is our family about? And they would be able to share something. I hope this helps you. It feels a little bit like taking a drink with a fire hose. I hope it helps you. Know that lying is tricksy. It is difficult. Try these things. Try them. Try one of them. Try all of them. Reach out to me if you have any other questions. And if you just feel overwhelmed by all of it, book that free strategy call and let's work it out together. I'm cheering for you.
Families Matter Most with Jen Dean, part of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network.
Have you booked a free strategy call yet? because I offer free one-on-one video chats to see what coaching could be like for you. So if you've never tried it, you need to book a free strategy call right now. There's private coaching if you want help in your parenting, if you want help to deal with some anger, to work on some of your kids' negative behaviors, because yep, they all have them. If you want that, you're going to want private coaching. But also if you want to work on you, if you're in a place where you would say, you know what, I need to work on myself so that I can show up better for my family, so that I can take care of stress and anger, so that I can be a better mom, that I can show up and be more positive to the people in my life. If that is where you're at, then book this call. Let's see if private coaching or group health coaching would be a good fit for you. Book a free strategy call today.